live for just a minute. You don't have to even sit on camera, but I'm gonna go live. But don't worry about all that. That's just like webcam and camera. We're actually simultaneously live right now, just so you know. We are on YouTube, okay? But unfortunately, we have 0 followers, so nobody's actually watching. And we are on this thing called Twitch. On YouTube, it's under Y2 content with a K, Kontent.
Is this video right now?
It is rolling. We're on Twitch over here. We're at Y2 Fever. Okay. And basically, all we're doing is just having simple conversations about normal stuff. That's all we're here to do. We can cut out at any time. I try to keep it where it's almost G-rated, but I did select, like on Netflix, you can pick either not for kids or for all audiences. I did select not for kids because I know that we could be talking about sex and stuff like, and stuff that's not, 17 and under content, So that's basically what it is. It's no big deal. But I am feeling okay. I'm having a good day. I'm glad to be not at work. People wonder, like, you've got no followers. Like, why are you doing this? Well, I'm here because I'm tired of being there at work. And to be honest with you, And so I'm paving the road because eventually I could have followers, and I do want to express myself and put out content of even like normal conversations, like part reality show / part drama, part fucking commentary. It's like a blend of stuff that you'll get if you tuned in, I did like that pill speaker though that you had. Like, that was kind of nice. That speaker that you were playing the music through, that was kind of cool. A lot of times I do commentary. I do a lot of wrestling stuff, but it's kind of a trip. Just a sidebar, like, you can't really play the audio. You can't play the audio, and you can't show the screen. So it's a lot of like really like me talking about what's happening, and probably nobody effing cares, and that's cool. I like it. But it's how I am expressing myself and having fun, because I don't want to create another job for myself. I want to do like kind of like artistic expression, if you will. Like everybody's an artist. All the world is a stage. We're merely players.
So we're online right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that's basically all I'm saying. Is like, let's have some fun. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. I wanted to ask, like, so much, like, you can tell people, I know you're a musician, I know you played in bands, but we're not here to absolutely talk about that. I do like talking.
This is my friend Brian, my buddy Brian. No, I don't have anything really. A little stoned right now, so.
I keep thinking,
I'm just listening and just kind of going with the flow right at this moment. But
I keep thinking like the Specials as a band meant so much for me, and I don't really never known like if they ever like touched you or if you ever really like saw them as influential or anything.
I think I was partying at that time. Specials,
Yeah, it's kind of like that ska.
I know they are, but it's like
it's going
I didn't really get a little bit of the Specials, but they were more ska, but I was going towards punk rock.
I think what's weird too, and this might seem like an off-the-wall question or talk about, but I love the way the B-52s harmonize the female vocals. Like, their harmony, like, was so good together. And I'm not even a B-52s fan. I basically was like, this stuff is not the best.
That's how I learned how to play drums, was to them.
For real?
Practicing a bunch. I went and met them on their first tour at Armadillo World Headquarters.
Dang.
And ate nachos with them, ate lunch with them and shit. Yeah, I was like that kid. I was like always into the band. Saw the Cars down at Coliseum.
Tell me you didn't get those nachos at Jalapeno Charlie's.
They probably were.
Holy shit.
No, but Armadillo World Headquarters have their own place.
Kitchen,
I think
too.
he was in that kitchen or part of it or something. I don't know. They're the same type. You know what I mean? Those chips and thick cheese
Yeah.
suckers. Yeah.
Have you ever worked in kitchens much?
Yeah, when I was a lot younger, it sucked. I was a sanitation technician and dishwasher, and I think I was a fry cook one time. It sucked. Not good at it.
Yeah, my oldest worked at McDonald's. He was like, it's actually like they time stuff out like a lot of like, but there's a lot to it. But yeah, it's a start. Like I definitely worked in some kitchens. I know my brother probably wanted to beat my ass at least a couple times, and but
Chico put out like
they
15
taught me a
orders of
lot.
raw French fries one time.
Yeah, yeah, I heard some stories on Cheat.
And like on the weekends, it'd be like a drug deal in a cooler. So guys always brought good weed, and all the staff, the waitresses, are all high on coke.
Yeah,
the kitchen was all stoned.
Yes. Maybe that's how I got into the drug business, from working in kitchens more than fucking anything else. I never really thought about it. Of course, it didn't help that my pastime was to hang out and find any drugs I could find and consume them at that time, in my life. Like pretty much. Hang on, something got a hold of me.
I just remember the cocaine that the first time I ever did cocaine was the pharmaceutical stuff that you had.
Yes, it was different because like there was no and we won't say where it comes from if that's okay. But there was no rocks. It was all powder.
Yeah, it was vacuum sealed, right?
Vacuum sealed. And it was like, it almost seemed like if you dumped it out of the bottle and then like kind of had it out on a tray, it would like almost like fluff up a little bit when it hit the air. But maybe that was my imagination. But there was no rocks really. It was all powder, but it was the best powder you would ever.
It's like 97% pure. It turned to liquid if humidity.
It did. It did. In fact, and we didn't know it. We were kids. We really didn't know it, but we should have been cutting it even for ourselves before we consumed it. But we had no idea. And of course, when you're on it, you want the purest, you can get. That's the concept, But we didn't even really know that, yes, you can have too pure, I've had people that were selling back in the history of when I used to sell, and they were like, they had given me some stuff, and then they had done some other business, and they came back 2 days later, and they were like, hey, like, can you give us that stuff back or cut it, one or the other, because 2 people died already in Florida from it being too strong, the same stuff, or something like that. I think that's what they said, yeah. And they were like, it's got to be cut. It's too strong. It was cocaine.
Whoa.
Yeah, it wasn't anybody that I knew or sold to, or I didn't sell to anybody that died that I know.
They came to you and
they told me like we want to. They actually cared, like, and we're like, we don't want that out there, like, we don't want people dying. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember when, and I had all the signs to get out of it early on. Like I remember when Smurf's sister, his twin, got murdered. Yeah. God rest her soul. His twin got murdered. She had gone out to get like a 9-pack, so she probably only had about $5,000 on her. Maybe 4,500 at the time, I think, is about probably what she would have had. And she was supposed to meet these 2 girls, and then the 2 girls somehow brought this 18-year-old guy with them, and then lo and behold, like, they called I hung out with his sister tons of times. He would bring her over and stuff, and this dude was a real straight from the streets of fucking East Austin good dude. He was like, he wouldn't take a front, like he didn't need a front, and he was a hard dude, even though he wasn't the biggest dude, but. They'd come over, me and his sister would smoke out. She was real nice. They called her Little Miss Trouble. Little Miss Trouble. That was like her street name. And then so she showed up, and right away, like from what I heard, like she was like, there was a dude with the two chicks. It was like about 17, 18. And he was in the back seat with one of the chicks, and she sat in the front seat, and the other chick was driving, right? And shit, that dude was like, pulled out a gun and was like trying to tell her, like, give me your fucking purse. And she's like, fuck you, I ain't giving you shit. Like, I'll fucking beat your ass and fuck your gun too. She was tough. And then he reached over and like grabbed the purse, but she was like, she wouldn't let it go, you know? And he fucking stuck that gun right to her neck. Pow! Killed her dead right on the scene. Like she was dead in like seconds. 18 years old she was. And even like supposedly I found out too, because they figured out, they caught who did it. And even, I shit you not, this is a true story. From what I understand, they took my buddy, that guy, and they were like, the police, like about 7, 8 days later, maybe 9 days later, they picked him up, and he told me, he was like, they took me down in the police station, like to a part I never even knew existed. Like, and they had me in an interrogation room, and he was like, I thought I was busted for sure, you know, because he was a drug dealer, you know, at the time. He's actually rehabilitated, and I heard doing very well, but not drug dealing. But he was like, they took me down to this room, and this fucking high-ranking officer came in, and it wasn't an interrogation. He just sat down across from the table, and he was like, the cop tells him, like, we know who you are, and we know what you do. But we didn't bring you here for that. We know who killed your sister, and we're about to get him, but we hadn't caught him yet, but we're close. We brought you here to tell you not to go and kill this guy. We don't want you wasting your life. And we know who you are. And we know how you operate. And we're just trying now telling you, like, let us get him. We don't want you ruining your life over this guy. And he was like, okay. And then they let him go. They let him out, you know. And they caught the dude, like, he was only 18 years old. They caught him, like, not even 2.5 weeks later. But people don't like cops, and I get that, and people have beefs, but they brought them down there. Yeah, he brought them down there. He didn't have to say that what he said and do what he did. He did it for the community, and he did it fucking for the law, and he didn't break the law, but he did it too to help that young person on the other side of the table make sure he didn't make a mistake of his life, you know?
When I was in prison, I met a lot of people that made mistakes and they regret it over temper. And just getting revenge, you know, locked up forever.
Yeah. How long were you locked up for, bro?
Just 2 months. No, not too much.
Too long,
a couple years.
Couple years. 2 months is too long.
If
you've been on the other side, you know.
24 hours.
You know. If you've been on the other side and you've been locked up, you know good and well. 2 days is too long. 2 hours is too long. You do not want to be looking at a line on the floor and knowing that you have to stand behind it with your hands clasped behind your back. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. Like, that's how it really is. Like, it's when you, even before you go there, you know, nobody wants to go there. Nobody wants to be there. It looks like we actually have a tiny bit of activity. Let's pull off. We're pulling off.
Go get it, Brian.
We're going to pull off of YouTube.